Think insurance is boring? Think again. Many experts say that insurance is the most powerful industry on the planet. So join us and discover why the QuotersCast is making insurance super cool. All right, my guest today is Rick Elmore, who is the CEO and founder of SimplyNoted. He's also a marketing expert, and you are a top salesperson at several medical equipment companies. And this is a big twist, which I really like. At 6'5", you spent 3 years in the NFL, right? I think that's awesome.
Sure did.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
Sure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this because this your technology and the company that you've built directly affects someone like me. And I just think you've got such interesting background experience. So can you give us a little bit, I mean, you've only been in business since, was it 2017? And you're now already at about 2 million annually in revenue. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So
thank you.
Give us a little bit of background on how you came to this, and we'll go from there.
Great. Well, thanks for having me. Like you said, my background's in athletics. Played for about 15 years, played football, the sport that I love. Went to the University of Arizona, played for Mike Stoops in 2006. Was really lucky and had a good career there. Was drafted in the NFL in 2011 and got to spend a few years there and live out my childhood dream. But eventually, like most or like every athlete, you have to hang up the shoulder pads and cleats and get into the real world. So I got into that corporate medical device, sales and marketing. First year was rookie of the year. Basically just took everything that was good as an athlete, hard work, perseverance, grit, get knocked down 9 times, get up 10, and just applied it to my corporate career. So the first year was rookie of the year. Next 5 years, I was either top 1% or top 5 sales rep in my company. Wow. And again, it was just all effort. In 2017, I had an itch I just could not scratch. So I went back and did my MBA. I knew there was something else out there for me. And in 2017, I was, had a full-time job. I had my first child that year. I did an Ironman. About a year into my program, launched my first startup. So yeah, 2017 was a wild year. But I was in a marketing class in December, about a year into my program. And I had a marketing professor said that handwritten notes have a 99% open rate. And I just thought that was just an amazing statistic. Since we live in a very digital overload world, it's just really hard to engage people. So I thought if I can, send some handwritten notes with a 99% open rate, it has to make me more successful if I can get in front of my client 99% of the time. And, I had a classmate of mine and myself, we got together, worked with some technology out of China. It was just a pen plotter. It was a very bad technology, and just tested it. We just had great results, and took the leap of faith in 2018, launched SimplyNoted. Fast forward 5 years, we're the largest handwriting platform in the world. We're the only company in the world that's truly built their own handwriting robot. And what I mean by that, we leverage no off-the-shelf solutions. Everything we built is custom to us. Never thought I'd do this, but we're going to have 6 patents on our technology, through design, through utility. We have hundreds of thousands of users on our platform every single month. And it's grown tremendously. And I'd love to say it was easy, but it wasn't. It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into this. But I think the solution that we provide is solving a big problem in today's digital and AI world. And that's just the personal, tangible touch, where the mailbox is empty, where nobody's competing, and that handwritten note really stands out in that mailbox.
Yeah, I totally agree. And being in the field that I'm in, I've written a lot of those myself. It takes a lot of time. And so I'd like to drill down a little bit on the actual technology, because I really do think this is like what you're doing. You're taking, like you say, the human touch, and you're using technology to marry it. Number one, how much does artificial intelligence play a role in this?
Well, AI, I just think that's a very buzzword now since, November 22, when OpenAI released ChatGPT.
Right.
The way that we're leveraging it right now is just helping people kind of formulate and give them ideas on what they're going to say. So we're actually launching that update on our website within a week. So you're gonna be able to go and say, hey, help me write a thank you note to John, or help me write a congratulations for selling your house, or whatever. So that's the only way that we're leveraging it right now. What we're trying to do is help businesses either automate it so it becomes predictable, a part of their sales or marketing plan, or scale it. If you want to send one or two, we can help you do that, but we actually consult and say, hey, if you can send one or two by yourself, do it yourself. But we're trying to build a platform to help companies automate it or scale it.
Okay, so you tend to prefer to work with agencies then, and larger companies. So
sure. Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to, monopolize the handwritten note market by any means. We're trying to develop a tool that businesses can leverage within their marketing or MarTech stack, where they can, add a handwritten solution, just like they have a calling solution, an email solution, a CRM. We're trying to be the handwritten solution that they can put in their tool belt.
All right. So I know it took a lot for you to invest in this financially. So what does it look like in terms of your team and the partners that you have to get this going off the ground? Besides, you mentioned one partner, but do you have a lot of investors? Have you used your own money?
Zero. We're completely customer funded.
Wow.
No loans, no debt, no investors. Yeah. So when I started this company, I really wanted to prove, I wanted to prove to myself that when I could do it. But I don't come from a background of money. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon or golden spoon, whatever they call it. My parents were very supportive, but we didn't have tons of money growing up, so really didn't have a lot of options. So the only way for me to do this was to self-fund it, and how we funded it was just doing what I was good at. I would go out, identify opportunities, show the client what we can do for them, solve a problem for them, and then we close it and reinvest the proceeds back into business. Okay.
You're a very fascinating character to me because from your athletic background, I'll give you the setup. I'll tell you why. Because, you went from football into selling medical equipment, and then now you have this handwritten, there's nothing like this out there. And so to start this up in the way that you did, and all the effort and time that went into it, there had to have been something in your thinking process that made you decide that this thing was going to be the thing that you were going to spend that much time and energy on. And I would love to hear what was the reasoning exactly?
Yeah. So, I grew up in the generation without technology. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was almost 17 years old. And it was one of those brick 2.9 phones that had internet on it. So yeah, and when I was being recruited in high school, any coach, I had, I think it was 29 or 30 Division I football offers or scholarships, but the coaches that really stood out to me were the ones that sent me a handwritten note. That showed me that they invested some time into reaching out to me. I got tons of printed letters and postcards, and that was like easy to do, right? So anybody who sent me a handwritten note, that immediately stood out. When I left the 49ers in 2012, Coach Harbaugh sent me a handwritten note, and he's a head football coach in the NFL. Now he's back in college, but that guy's a person of influence, and that impacted me so much. Like it literally made me. So
no, you were in the middle of telling us about your coach who had sent you the handwritten note, and I just wanted to make the point that you're a tough guy and you come across really forthright, but clearly you have a huge heart. And that's kind of what I wanted to highlight here. And you're in the middle of a great story. And
all right. So yeah, handwritten notes, why they mean so much, and, why they've impacted my life so much. There's a good story back in 2012 when I was playing for the San Francisco 49ers. I left the team after that season. We went to the NFC Championship game and lost right before the Super Bowl. So, it was a pretty awesome year. But when I left the team, Coach Harbaugh, a very influential, leader, head coach in the NFL, he's now back in the college ranks. He sent me a handwritten note. And when I was 23, 24 at the time. And when I got that 3 or 4 weeks later after I left, it impacted my life so much. It meant so much to me that he would sit down and take the time to do it. It's actually a keepsake. I kept it. It's in my office on my shelf, and I'm going to be able to share that with my kids someday. So, when that's what we're trying to do at scale for companies. I think people want to do it. And the problem that we're solving is that they don't have time to do it. So now we're creating a platform that helps them to do it. I'm not telling anybody you should send every single handwritten note you ever do through our platform. But if you're a business, if you like systems and processes, you have a CRM, you want to stay consistent, you want to make sure the grammar is right, you're not having your assistant and you don't have to worry about them misspelling something or the grammar's not right. We built a platform that helps you automate it or scale it. So you want to automate a birthday card, an anniversary card, send out holiday cards, or just send out a thank you card, which is a big part of our business. Is the law of reciprocity is just building those relationships. And we all know how important relationships are in business. I couldn't have built this business if it wasn't for my relationships. I know almost every business out there wouldn't have their business if they didn't have loyal relationships. So it's all about the relationship, and a good, simple thank you note is a way to solidify a strong relationship with all your clients.
That's great. And I know you have, you're big on follow-up. So I'm assuming you might have a whole system and philosophy. That's what I'm guessing. Do you?
So, for follow-up, it's just based off of triggers. So say that you had somebody, come and book a meeting with you. We can automate a handwritten note to be sent out after that meeting is completed. Or if somebody signed up for a quote, we can automate, hey, thank you for reaching out for a quote. We're excited to work with you. We can automate sending that follow-up card. It's really just based off of triggers that are happening within your company's CRM or software, whatever you use. Anytime someone pays a bill, we can automate sending a card. Hey, thanks for paying your bill. So it really, we set up systems that help you automate your personal touch, but it really is just as easy as sending an email. If you have a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, CSV file, send it to us. It's just like mail merge. We plug in the variables, hi, first name. Every card's completely custom to that individual. So it can be as easy as you want or as complicated as you want. We just have the software, the technology, the platform, the robots, all the mailing equipment in-house, all the printers in-house. We're a one-stop solution, to make sending and scaling handwritten notes as easy as possible.
Wow, that's amazing. So do you, as a great salesperson that you are, I'm thinking about like some of the big old insurance companies with thousands of agents and a lot of the independent agencies. It just sounds like this is perfect because they have Salesforce and Zapier and all that kind of stuff. This sounds like the perfect service to sort of integrate with that. Have you approached them? And if so, how did that go?
We've tried so many times.
Oh, really?
We have. My wife, I think we still have Farmers. I'm not sure. I don't know who our insurance is, or maybe they do one of our things that we have. But I get a really crappy 5-cent postcard for my birthday every year from them. I'm literally like, why are you sending me this? Like, why? Like, this literally shows me that you put zero time and effort into this. And it's just like, this is not going to do anything for my relationship with your company. And I've tried, and literally it's all about dollars and cents. It doesn't matter about relationships, brand recognition, loyalty, referrals, reviews. I'm just like, I literally don't even look at it. I get it now. I just throw it straight in the trash. So it's like, this is the least amount of effort your company could have possibly done. We run our own printing press in our warehouse. I know how easy it is to print out these postcards. I can print 11,000 of them an hour. So it's anyways, we've tried, and I think what happens eventually, or these companies will come around, when they start seeing their competitors use it and they start seeing the success they have. But it's usually the smaller agencies that we work with. The ones that really understand the value of a referral, the ones that really understand the value of the lifetime value of a client, the ones that are running in anywhere from 700 to 3,000, clients or portfolio. So it's the big mega conglomerates. They don't even give you a second. I'm just all right, it's fine.
I know, you're right. They're stuck in the 70s.
Yeah, the 70s. Yeah.
One thing I noticed when doing research on you, you mentioned, I thought this was really important, that you don't like to overlook any small opportunity because you never know where it's going to lead. And so that kind of
never.
Yeah. So can you give us an example of what looked like a small opportunity on the surface that turned out to be something big?
So when I first started, I did every business networking event possible. I did the BNIs, the Chamber of Commerce, the Vistages, the small private, I did what do you call the speaking one? Why am I drawing
Toastmasters?
Toastmasters.
Oh,
I mean, I've done them all. And, none of them were really a good fit, but I was like a young entrepreneur just trying to get out there, meet people, be around people that are doing something similar to me. And I remember I did BNI my first year, and I got a referral from someone in BNI to somebody 2 years after I left. I'm like, hey, you should talk to this guy. And then, I spent a year in the program and it really did nothing for my business, but I built relationships within BNI, and they connected me to somebody that ended up being a massive 6-figure client for us. So you can't discredit any effort whatsoever. You can't leave any stone unturned. You can't overlook any bad experience. You have to fix every experience. You can't say, "I'll screw that guy. He's a bad customer, or he's not a good person." Like, you have to obsess about that stuff. And that's what I've done really well. That's SimplyNoted. It's like, I will go above and beyond. I'll go a lot further than any of our, that's what made me good in sales in the corporate world. I was willing to do a lot more than my competitors or even people that I worked with, and that's what helped me set myself out amongst the crowd. So we do the same thing here. It's worked tremendously well. It's been exhausting. I don't know if I can do this. I started when I was 29, 28, before 2 kids. And I don't know if I would start it the same way. I'm a lot smarter than I was when I was 20 years old. But yeah, you can't, that $100 client, could be just as valuable as that $5,000 client. It's just, you can't overlook anybody.
Wow, that's a great attitude. Mm-hmm. So what is the when you say you go above and beyond, can you give us examples of what it was that you did?
I think it's pride. I think a lot of people get stuck in trying to make sure that they're right, or I'm right versus the customer. I don't care. I'll step down my pride, even if they're way wrong. I'm like, I totally understand. We're so sorry, and just move on, because it's not worth the dragged out, email battle. They go on and get their friends to write bad reviews. They write bad reviews. It's just, people have to let go of their pride. They have to let go of their ego. A lot of people get in that running their own business because they want to be their own boss. But I'm even though I'm my own boss, I'm still more in sales, and I would say at the beckoning call of even more people now. I used to just be having to service my clients. Now I have to service my vendors, my employees, our clients, right? Our engineers, our developers. So I think if there's a lot of independent, insurance or business owners out there, just get obsessed with making sure that your clients are happy. Even if you have to, swallow your pride a little bit, believe me, it's going to pay off, a year from now, 2 years from now, because, even if they know they're wrong and you tell them that they're right, they'll come back or they'll refer somebody because they know you're somebody that's willing to be flexible and work with them.
That's great. Yeah. Excellent. So, you're able to sell these notes and letters with and without envelopes very, very affordably. And after talking to you now for a few minutes, I'm assuming it's going to be on great paper and have a quality envelope and all that kind of stuff. So with the manufacturing and all the equipment that you have and the materials you need, how is that possible, really, to be that competitive?
So, the first 4 years, it was really hard. It was really hard to not get too low on price, because we needed the money that we got from selling to reinvest back in the business. We've invested almost $1 million now just into the development of our handwriting robots, and that's all customer funded. So that comes from sales. That's not to account for, we're on our 4th version of our website. Probably spent near, another $1 million just in software development. Not including capital equipment, all the mailing equipment, the printers, which is another probably $600,000 or $700,000. So, at this point now where we're at, now that we have all this stuff in house and we can control our costs a lot better, we're able to get, a much better price on our service. So, and we're still well below what it's going to cost for you to go to a store and buy a card and do it yourself. You go to the store and buy a greeting card, it's going to be $4 or $5 just for the card plus postage. And a lot of our businesses at the volumes they're doing it, they're doing it for around $1 a card plus postage. So, and that, again, that's real handwritten envelope, real handwritten card on 120-pound cardstock, which is thicker than a Hallmark card. And it's automated at scale. You're not going to have carpal tunnel, hand cramps, any worries about injuring or being delayed or any stuff like that. And it truly is a remarkable technology. And that's what we're trying to do, is get the word out there. There's nothing else like it. only company in the world that's truly built their own handwriting robot. We built our own handwriting engine. Like, we can literally take your handwriting style, pull the characteristics out of it, and truly use your handwriting to put words on paper to send to your clients. And that's like, when people grasp that, they're like, holy crap, like, it's as easy as sending an email, and I can use my handwriting with my custom stationery, and it's automated. Like, that's when the light bulbs start exploding, and they get excited, and then they get in contact with us, and we help them get going.
Yeah, wow, that is really remarkable, because from watching the robot do its thing, it looks so real, but I had no idea that you could mimic a person's handwriting. So yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, when we mimic a person's handwriting, it's not a simple handwriting or a font conversion. So a font, when you're creating a font online, so fonts were created in like the 90s for the internet. So they're called like TTF files or OTF files, true type font or open type font. We actually create something that's completely different. It's a handwriting style. So we will pull out all the unique characteristics within your handwriting. The spacing, which is called kerning, the ligatures, which is how your letters naturally connect to each other. So some people will connect their T's or connect their M's, two M's together, or T to H, or what do two E's look like next to each other. We pull out all that out, program it into your handwriting style. And then we actually have an algorithm that takes your handwriting style, and it manipulates it as it writes it. So it doesn't matter if you wrote 1,000 A's right next to each other on our robot, not one single A will look the same. It rotates it, it stretches it, it makes it bigger, smaller. I mean, there's way too much thought put into this. We create our own pens. Like, our pens run out so much, we had to create our own pens. The type of ink that goes in a pen, the wettability of the ink was thought about. It's called viscosity. So like, it actually smears really good when you lick your thumb and try to smear it. So there's way too much thought that goes into a simple $1, $2, or $3 handwritten note. But we believe so much in it, the problem that we're solving. We believe that handwritten notes or handwritten mail is going to make a comeback with vengeance, especially being in the digital world for the last 23 years. Now we're going to the AI world, and we're just a platform that's ready to help people do it.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it sounds like. So you're not worried about China copying you, are you?
I don't care. I mean, there's I think in the post office, there's like 74 billion pieces of first class mail alone sent every year. I don't even want 5% of that. It would be a nightmare to manage. So we want to work with clients that are good people, that understand the value of the service. We're not trying to monopolize anything. I'm happy just to get out there and work with great people and provide a great service.
Okay, so you haven't really thought of other applications for this then?
In what ways?
Well, I don't know. Just listening to it, it's so complex. I don't know. I haven't.
Well, there's definitely another application, for individuals with like writing disabilities. We've talked to nonprofits to help them, use our systems to write. But that's just a completely different conversation.
I was just thinking, even a book or textbooks to make it look like somebody had actually physically written it.
Mm-hmm.
That might be something. Get rid of ebooks and maybe have an alternative. Would that be cheaper than regular printing?
Probably not. It takes our robot about 5 minutes to write one handwritten note, and that's about 100 words. So, it writes as fast as a person. We can speed it up and make it write as fast as we want, since these are machines. But the faster you go, you suffer writing quality. So we want to make sure it looks great. So we just add more robots to the production line to help us turn orders faster versus turn the machines up in speed. Okay.
All right. And maybe lastly, I'm just curious, have you tried to infiltrate sort of the football organizations and with this technology?
We worked with the NCAA a little bit in the early days. It's not really our niche. We want to work with like the service-based industries, real estate, mortgage, insurance, nonprofit, where relationships matter. Where the value of saying thank you is going to impact their business for years to come. Because I run a business. I'm trying to shut down my turn rate, right? Because we all know it costs more to acquire a client than keep your clients happy and get referrals. So we like to focus on those industries that value relationships.
All right. Well, that's great. I wish you much continued success. This has been an awesome interview, and you're super impressive, Rick. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great day. See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.